They connected an artery from the sheep directly to a vein in the human patient. The animal's blood would then flow into the human's bloodstream, which they thought would help. But as the blood was replaced, the immune system recognized the sheep blood as a threat and attacked it. This triggered severe reactions like fevers and intense pain. Blood clots could form, leading to blockages in vital organs. And some patients experienced kidney failure, went into shock, and died. If you shrank down to insect size, a single raindrop would hit you like a falling boulder. You'd have to dodge birds swooping down, mistaking you for food. Encountering an ant colony would be like facing an army. Their powerful mandibles could cause serious harm, and a swat from a cat's paw would send you flying through the air. Even the vibrations from human footsteps would feel like earthquakes. If you burn yourself, some people might apply butter, thinking that it will soothe the wound. But the greasy substance actually creates a barrier that prevents heat from escaping. This can cause the burn to deepen, damaging even more layers of the skin. Using ice can freeze the tissue and constrict blood vessels. The extreme cold can reduce blood flow to the wound and slow the healing process, which is why you should just stick to cool running water. If a kangaroo is being chased by a dog, it might jump into a river. Now, once in the water, the kangaroo waits. The dog, following the chase, will usually swim after it. As the dog swims closer, the kangaroo grabs it with its powerful arms and sharp claws. Next, it pushes the dog's head underwater and holds it there, trying to drown it. With its strong claws, the kangaroo grips tight, using its weight to keep the dog submerged until it stops moving. A family ran from their burning home in the middle of the night. The parents and 4 kids escaped, but 5 children never made it out. After the fire died down, rescuers searched the ash, but no remains were found. Experts said the blaze was so hot it completely cremated them, but it only burned for 45 minutes, which isn't long enough to turn bones into ash. Now, some thought the kids had been kidnapped, and others even claimed to see the children alive, hundreds of miles away. The parents never stopped searching, convinced the fire wasn't the end of their children, but they have never been found. The teats are held firmly, and the milker gently pulls down. This motion triggers the release of oxytocin, the hormone that bonds a cow to her calf. The muscles in the udder then contract, pushing the milk through the ducts and into the teats. It then streams into a bucket where it's collected. The cow is given a treat, and the milker gets to keep the fresh milk. They would be placed into a sack alongside a monkey, a snake, and a chicken. This punishment was saved for people who killed their parents. Once sealed, the sack was thrown into a river. As the person inside struggled to breathe, the panicked animals would attack, creating a chaotic and brutal scenario. The goal was to ensure that the punishment was as horrifying as the crime. The tiny spoon enters the ear and gently scrapes wax from the canal's walls, scooping it out. This reduces risk of blockages and damage to the eardrum because it pulls the wax away, as opposed to cotton swabs, which can actually push the earwax further in. Now, some people also use this tool to reach into their nostrils and scoop out boogers. Just be sure to clean it regularly. If you shoot a bullet at a really thick book, some people think it would go right through. But is that actually true? Well, as the bullet enters the book, each page creates friction that slows it down. The dense layers of paper fibers absorb the bullet's energy, causing it to decelerate rapidly. And in many cases, especially with handguns, the bullet probably wouldn't make it all the way through if the book is at least 7 inches thick. When you pour water on a grease fire, the water quickly sinks below the burning oil. The intense heat instantly converts the water into steam, which expands violently, launching the burning oil above it into the air. This sudden expansion causes fireballs to explode, rapidly spreading the flames. The fire can quickly ignite nearby surfaces, making the situation even more dangerous. Blood is drained from the veins through an incision in the neck when a body is embalmed. Then an embalming fluid is injected into the arteries, replacing the blood and slowing decomposition. This fluid spreads through the entire body, firming the tissues. Next, a hollow instrument called a trocar is used to remove bodily fluids from the abdominal cavity and inject more preservatives. This process keeps the body looking lifelike during the funeral. The process starts by enclosing a person within a wall, leaving no exits. Unlike being buried alive, you wouldn't die from lack of air. In some cases, the person was given just enough food and water to survive for years, prolonging the agony and isolation. Victims were sometimes forced to stand upright, unable to sit or rest, their legs swelling from the lack of movement. Many died slowly, completely isolated, left to suffer until the end. If a bull starts charging at you, most people would start running away. But bulls can run faster than humans in a straight sprint. Instead, try to move to the side to get out of the bull's path. If it's still chasing you, try running in a zigzag pattern. If there's a solid object like a tree nearby, use it as a barrier between you and the bull. If it tosses you, try to stay as still as possible on the ground. Bulls are often attracted to movement, so playing dead might make them lose interest. Your heart generates enough force to squirt blood 30 feet across a room. This powerful organ beats about 100,000 times every day and pushes about 1.5 gallons of blood through your body each minute. In a year, that's over 670,000 gallons, enough to top off an Olympic-sized swimming pool. And this means that over an average lifetime, your heart will pump around 58 million gallons of blood, which is enough to fill the Statue of Liberty 10 times.